You stop texting back. Not everyone, just the people who actually care. Your best friend sends a check-in and you read it. Set the phone face down and tell yourself you'll reply later. Later never comes. You cancel plans with a reason that sounds real but isn't. You move through your days like someone who's fine. And when anyone gets close enough to notice you're not, you find a way to make yourself smaller and quieter until they stop looking. And the part that keeps you up at night isn't the hard thing you're going through. It's the fact that you keep doing this, pulling away from the exact people who could help, and you have no idea why. Maybe you love someone who does this. Someone who goes completely silent right when you most want to be there for them. Either way, this isn't coldness, and it's not a character flaw. It has a name. And the last sign, the one almost no one recognizes, is the one that's been costing you the most, quietly, for years. What you're living is called avoidant coping. The psychologist Susan Folkman, whose decades of research on stress shaped how we understand the whole field, drew a hard line between two kinds of coping: going toward the problem and moving away from it. Avoidant coping is the second one, but calling it moving away makes it sound passive. It isn't. It's active. Your brain is making a calculation every single time, and the calculation is this: being seen struggling will cost more than disappearing. So it chooses disappearing, not because you're weak, because at some point, it worked. Your nervous system filed that away and kept the strategy on standby. Now it runs automatically, even when the math is completely wrong. Think of it like a smoke alarm installed during an actual fire. Of course, it got calibrated to be sensitive. The problem is, it now goes off every time you make toast. The alarm isn't broken, it's just working from old data. And every time you vanish when things get hard, that's the alarm doing exactly what it was built to do. The goal isn't to rip it out. It's to update the data it's running on. Sign 1. You manage the distance, not the difficulty. Here's what this looks like in real life. Something goes wrong at work. A project falls apart. A conversation with your manager goes sideways, and within 24 hours, you are extremely busy. Not with the problem, with everything around it. You reorganize your desk. You deep clean your kitchen at 11 at night. You respond to every low-stakes message in your inbox except the one that matters. You are not procrastinating in the traditional sense. You are creating the sensation of movement, so the stillness of the actual problem doesn't swallow you whole. Neuroscience has a name for this too. It's displacement activity, and it lights up the same reward circuits as real problem solving. Your brain gets a hit of forward motion without any of the exposure. The cost is that the real thing just sits there, getting heavier. Sign 2. You become unreachable to the people who know you best, not to everyone. This is important. You can function completely normally at work. You can make small talk, laugh at the right moments, seem totally fine to a stranger or a coworker. But the group chat with your closest friends? Unread for 11 days? Your mom's call? Sent to voicemail 3 times in a row. The people who actually know you are the ones you avoid most completely. That's not an accident. Elaine Aron's research on highly sensitive people showed that those who feel things most deeply are also most vulnerable to the specific pain of being truly seen and still found lacking. The closer someone is to you, the more their witness of your struggle feels like a verdict. So you protect yourself from their verdict by disappearing. The brutal irony is that these are the exact people who already love you and are not going to deliver the verdict you're afraid of. But the nervous system doesn't run on irony. If you're already nodding at 2 out of 2, stay with me, because this next one is the one people almost never name out loud. Sign 3. You rehearse asking for help and never send it. You type the message. You type the whole thing, the real thing, the actual situation, what you need, how bad it's gotten. You read it back, you delete it. Sometimes you save it in your drafts, which feels like a compromise, but is really just a more comfortable way to not send it. You've had versions of this conversation 100 times in your head. In the shower, on the drive home, lying in bed at 2 a.m. You know exactly what you'd say. You just never say it. This is the brain running a threat simulation. It models the conversation, detects possible outcomes where you are pitied or dismissed or become a burden, and it pulls the abort cord before you ever hit send. The simulation feels so real that your nervous system responds to it as if the rejection already happened. You've been rejected by a conversation that never took place. Here's a small thing you can do right now, before any bigger shift. The next time you catch yourself deleting a message, don't send the whole thing. Send one sentence. Just one. I'm having a hard week. That's it. No explanation required. You're not asking to be rescued. You're cracking the door 1 inch. That 1 inch is how the nervous system starts to learn that being seen doesn't automatically mean being judged. It's how you update the data. Sign 4. You reframe withdrawal as self-care. This one is sneaky because it's dressed in the language of mental health. You tell yourself you need space to process. You need to recharge. You're an introvert, and this is just how you work. And some of that might even be true, but there's a difference between genuine solitude that restores you and isolation that you're using as a hiding place. The tell is how you feel when you come out of it. Real rest leaves you feeling more capable, more connected, more like yourself. Avoidant withdrawal leaves you feeling more behind, more disconnected, and vaguely ashamed without knowing exactly why. You can be honest with yourself about which one it is. Your body already knows. Sign 5. This is the one that was promised, the one that cost the most. You start to disappear from your own future. This is what happens when avoidant coping runs long enough without being interrupted. It's not just that you pull away from people. You stop making plans. You stop applying for things. You stop starting things. Because starting means potentially failing, and failing means potentially being seen failing. And that's the whole threat the system is trying to avoid. So you make yourself smaller in a very specific way, not dramatically, not all at once, but quietly. You tell yourself it's not the right time. You'll do it when things settle down. Things don't settle down because you're not doing the things that would settle them. The psychologist Tara Brach calls this the trance of unworthiness, the slow drift into a life that's been edited down to only what feels safe. You stop disappearing from people. You start disappearing from yourself. Here's what that costs in concrete terms. Relationships atrophy, not from one big fight, but from the accumulation of unreturned messages, canceled plans, and the growing sense your people have that you don't actually want them there. Opportunities close, not because you were rejected, but because you never applied. And the version of you that was curious and open and willing to be seen, that version gets quieter and quieter until you can't quite remember what it felt like to be that person. So here's how you start taking the wheel back. Step 1. Name the withdrawal when it's happening. Not in judgment, just in observation. I'm pulling back right now. That single act of naming it interrupts the automaticity. The brain can't run a fully unconscious program while you're consciously narrating it. Step 2. Shrink the exposure, not the action. If replying to your friend feels too big, reply with 2 words. If applying for the thing feels too big, open the application and close it. You're teaching your nervous system that the door doesn't have to be fully open to be safe. It just has to be open. Step 3. Separate being struggling from being failing. These are not the same thing. Every person you admire has a version of the hard season you're in right now. The difference is not that they felt less afraid. It's that they let someone see them anyway. And if you're the person who loves someone like this, someone who goes quiet and unreachable right when you want to help, the most useful thing you can do is not push harder. Send the message that asks for nothing. I'm here, no pressure. Then mean it. The person you love is not withdrawing from you. They're withdrawing from the fear of what your witness might cost them. Give them evidence, slowly and consistently, that your witness is safe. That's the only thing that actually moves the needle. The quiet, sensitive person who disappears when things get hard is not someone who doesn't care. They are almost always someone who cares so much that the risk of being seen caring and still falling short feels completely unbearable. That's not a flaw in the wiring. That's a system that was built for a world where being vulnerable had real consequences, and it just hasn't gotten the update yet that says the world has changed. That you have changed. That the people waiting for you on the other side of that unsent message are not going to deliver the verdict you've been afraid of your whole life. They're just waiting for you to come back.